What is going on, everybody? I am Jake, aka Bomber, and we're here to talk about AEW All Out 2022. So, I have not watched an AEW pay-per-view in a long time, and overall, I thought the show was good. I mean, you look on social media, you see everything blown up. Everybody's talking about MJF returning. The only thing people are talking about is how great the tag team title match was between the Acclaimed and Swerve and Our Glory. The only thing people are talking about was Jade's She-Hulk war paint. Everybody's just talking about all kinds of stuff, All Out. No, they're not. No, they're not. All they are talking about is, ironically, what it didn't even happen on the show. Not even talking about the awesome matches that took place. And hey, it is what it is. People love their drama. That's why people want wrestling anyway. I mean, they want their drama. And all they're talking about is what happened on the media scrum, the, after show interviews, whatever, where they talk about how, wrestling's super fake and everything and how everything's done. I mean, to each their own. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is what it is. It definitely is the only thing people are talking about right now. And rightfully so. It was so painful. After the show, I watched the pay-per-view, but I didn't watch the media scrum. I saw stuff on social media and I just started following it the night of. And I'm like, man, this can't be that bad. They have to be taking little snippets, out of context, even though one of the clips was like a 2-minute clip of Punk just going in on Hangman Page, the EVPs, everybody like that. But I'm like, it couldn't be that bad, right? It just can't be. So I went back and watched it yesterday, the actual whole thing. And dear Lord, it's so bad, so awkward. You just feel so weird watching it. And I could not imagine being in that room feeling so uncomfortable. Like at the very, very, very beginning, literally Punk comes in, he throws his can of drinks on the ground, are on the table. I assume they're non-alcoholic because, he's Mr. Straight Edge, But he throws his drinks down and he's got a muffin and everything. And Tony Khan is just, right here on the screen. We got the reactions right here, which were actually my favorite part is Tony Khan's reactions to everything. But from the very get-go, we don't even get a single question out first before Punk's like, hey, show of hands, who thinks they're part of wrestling media or a wrestling journalist, who thinks they're a wrestling journalist. And it just goes downhill from the very beginning. Not even a single question. We go straight into Colt, Cabana and all this kind of stuff. And it was bad. And then the rumors started up afterwards the very next day with, oh my God, afterwards, CM Punk and the Young Bucks got into a physical altercation. I guess CM Punk, apparently, according to the rumors, these are rumors, of course, from the, as he called him, the wrestling journalist. And we're not going to get into it, but I may be a bad guy, I may be an asshole, maybe, not cool, but I don't like the term wrestling journalist. I mean, I work in like the news business, and let's try to use some other words besides journalist. I don't know what, maybe blogger, maybe entertainment connoisseur or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't like journalists because that's not really what's happening. Anyway, put that aside. That's not what this is about. What this is about is apparently the rumor is that it got even worse after the, the little scrum. There was a little, scrum backstage where Punk apparently hit Nick Jackson or something like that. And then there's other rumors that it can't be true. But people are saying it, that apparently Ace Steel bit somebody. I mean, it's too wild to even imagine this stuff really happened. But with those instances, of course, we don't have the video footage like we do with the scrum. The scrum, we saw how bad, of a mood Punk was in and how you could tell he was agitated. And then there's this other half of people on the internet that are, oh, you know what? It's a work. It's not real. It's fake. They're faking this. This is an angle. This is a story. Well, I mean, obviously, I guess that technically could be true. This could definitely be an angle or a story, but I'm going to be honest here. I seen a CM Punk movie. I don't remember what the name was. It was like a horror movie. He moved into a haunted house or something and people were dying. I don't know. I don't remember the name of it, but his acting wasn't that good. And I'm not sitting here. I'm not trying to take a dump on CM Punk. CM Punk's fine with me. I like CM Punk. He's absolutely fine. I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not, this huge CM Punk fan, but I don't dislike CM Punk. He's perfectly fine, but he's not that great of an actor from what I've seen him in. And when I'm watching that media scrum, if it is fake and this is all, you know, a promo and a work and all this kind of stuff that some people are saying it is, then he got pretty freaking good. He is doing this. He is playing this to a T perfectly, and he's doing a great job. If this, in fact, would happen to be a work, which I don't think it is. I think this is probably pretty real. I think this is I think it's a real deal. But let's just say for a second, let's say, oh, you know what? It's not real. Let's say this is a work. Then I'm going to give all the credit in the world right now. These guys are all doing an absolutely fantastic job, okay? These guys are doing a perfect job on making people believe in the story they're telling. If we're saying if we're playing a little scenario here, if it happens to be a work, which I already said, I don't think it is. But if it was, these guys are doing a great job. I would almost say like the best possible job you could do when making people believe something is real in the wrestling business, especially in 2022. But let's just say it is fake or a work for a minute. Is it good? Sorry, I'm off the mic. Is it good? In my opinion, because I mean that's what this is. This isn't me out here talking facts. This isn't me saying, oh well, this is this and this. Then I'd be a wrestling journalist. You know what I'm saying? All right, that's enough shots on that. But if it is a work, is this good? No, this is not good. Even with me saying this is a masterful job, these guys are doing an absolute perfect job, you know, making people believe. Is this good? No, it's not good. Two really big reasons why it's not good. One is you are completely turning even the most diehard AEW fans who will love AEW to a freaking fault. You were having those people absolutely turn on the number one ticket seller, CM Punk, because he is, whether you are all of a sudden hate him or not, or have always hated him, he is the number one draw in AEW. He's the top guy, no matter how you feel about him, especially right now. He is that guy. You're making all these people absolutely hate him. I've been going through social media. I've just been seeing so many people say, we believed in this guy. Oh, screw this guy. This guy's always been a piece of trash, blah, blah, blah. People are absolutely turned on Punk. So if you're just trying to make a bad guy out of it, this is, I mean, I personally like it, but because I always, if the first time's being here, I always love getting heat no matter what way it is. I think it's okay since it is a wrestling business. But in this aspect, overall for the company, because AEW is just like different, man. They aren't like a normal like WWE, and it absolutely is not good because it like kind of hurts the company as a whole. Like WWE, you can't hurt WWE as a company. They've already done some of the worst stuff in the world, Saudi Arabia, all this kind of stuff. You can't like hurt that company. Like this is hurting AEW overall because it's a snowball effect. It keeps getting worse. So this makes everybody turn on CM Punk. That's number one. Number two is probably the biggest part. You just had this big AEW All Out is generally thought of as, you know, the biggest show of the year. There's some arguments at some of the other pay-per-views, but this is generally thought of as their, you know, quote unquote WrestleMania. And dude, nobody's talking about anything on the show. Like I was joking about at the beginning. Nobody's talking about that fantastic match between Swerve and Our Glory and the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed is one of the top over teams right now after watching All Out. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about how the Acclaimed are one of the most popular teams. Nobody cares. They only care about the whole CM Punk situation. What about MJF? MJF makes his return after another feud or another angle or story or work or whatever you want to call it that I was 100% on board with, assuming that it was, you know, part of the story was the whole MJF stuff. I was, you know, to me, at least, I thought that was pretty obvious. That was an actual story being told. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong because I'm a fan just like probably you watching this right here. I assume you're a fan. I don't know why else you'd be watching this. But the thing is, I assume that was a work. This, I don't think it is. But if it was, this hurts everything on the show because nobody is caring about the big MJF return. The matches, and the show wasn't perfect. The show wasn't the greatest show of all time. It was a really solid show, though, and nobody cares. So those are the two biggest problems right there. You got everybody turned on CM Punk, and nobody's even talking about this really good show that they had. So where does that leave us? What does that mean? There's of course rumors. They're all rumors coming out about Ace Steel is going to be fired for biting somebody or a part of the physical altercation. I swear to God, I hope somehow we get evidence or proof that Ace Steel bit somebody. That would be amazing. But where do we go from here? Is CM Punk going to get suspended like Eddie Kingston did? A lot of people have been asking that. Obviously, Eddie Kingston is a little bit lower on the pay scale and ticket sales scale as CM Punk is. But when you look at it, but let's wrap up the part where was it a work? Was it real? Whatever. Those were the scenarios. If I thought, if it was work, would it be good? No. Do I think it is a work? No. I don't know where we go from here, honestly. I mean, I don't think CM Punk's going to be suspended. He might be, but there was this awkward stuff where he dropped the title to Moxley 2 weeks before All Out, which a lot of people were thinking was some type of punishment, but then he won it again at All Out. All I know is I said on a tweet a little while back that said, Moxley's been on this awesome run. Moxley's been on this great run. He's been running the company basically while Punk's been, down. He was an interim champion, then he finally won it, and everybody was happy. He's having a good time. We're having fun stuff with the Combat Club. Everything's looking cool, and then we go straight back to dropping the belt to Punk, and the dude just goes AWOL. I don't know if it's going in business for himself. I don't know any of the little insider stuff that happened, but bottom line is this Scrum hijacked the show. Hijacked the entire company. That's everything. The only thing anybody's talking about, if I can talk. So where do we go from here? Obviously, you would think it was going to be an MJF and CM Punk feud, but guess what? Who knows now? When at the end of the show, if you watch back, because nobody's talking about it, was the entire crowd. CM Punk held the belt up, and the entire crowd is full blown chanting MJF because everybody, as much as he's he comes off as a dick and he's, his character is totally the worst in the world. People freaking love MJF because they see the talent there. So are we going to see a dynamic where all of a sudden Punk's going to turn heel and MJF's going to go face? I mean, MJF, I'm sure he's an okay face. They kind of played a little bit with it with Cody way back at the beginning of AEW, but that's before he turned on Cody, of course. But man, I don't know. MJF is like the best heel. So people are going to boo after this. I guarantee you there might be some cheers. I'm not gonna say there's going to be no cheers for CM Punk, but that dude's going to get booed. You can't come out of this and not get booed because the hardcore fan base, the ones that go watch AEW, are all over social media, all over the internet. All they do, they're hooked into this stuff. They fucking inject that into their veins. This is what they're about. And they're seeing what kind of crap is going on. And they're going to turn on the dude. It's going to have to happen. So that's where I think it's going to go from here. People are just going to straight turn on CM Punk. And I saw a quote on, I don't remember who it was. I saw it somewhere on social media that, this is the guy that we were waiting on for all these years. This is the guy that you watch WWE and there's CM Punk chants. This is the guy we're rooting for and cheering for to come back to wrestling. And a year after he comes back, this is what's going on. I don't know. Not a good look. Not a good look. I even put out a video. They wrestled in CZW, the series I do where I highlight guys that you probably had no clue wrestled in Combat Zone Wrestling. And CM Punk was one of them. And in that episode, which is pretty short, go check it out if you haven't already. Please, just, I don't know where, just click on the channel. You'll find it. I'm sure it'll be somewhere. But you need to watch it because I go into detail about how he had one showing in CZW and it didn't go well. There was backstage drama, of course. There seems to always be drama surrounding Punk. Find that weird? But I have always sided with CM Punk because I just assumed, CZW's not had the best reputation over the years. John Zandig has been a little abrasive. Everybody kind of knows that knows CZW. I always just kind of sided with Punk saying, you know what? I'm sure Punk was right. I just believe that he thought they were being dicks to him, not them thinking he's being, too big, him being a dick to them. But man, at this point, I don't even know anymore. Maybe crazy. I know I'm wearing a CZW hoodie. I know, but maybe CZW, John Zandig and them were in the right. Of course, I wasn't there. I don't know. But after seeing all this, I don't know what to believe anymore. Maybe CM Punk is just the absolute biggest diva, douchebag, whatever in the world. And at least that's what we're being presented. If this is fake and this is a work, that is what is being presented. If it's real, it's still being presented. So I don't know how CM Punk can come out of this looking good, honestly. So I don't know. So that is going to wrap this video up. All Out. I know, you know, people want to have like a, hey, what did you think of All Out? What did you think of the matches? I thought the matches were good. This video isn't really about that. This was like a, you know, a little fake thing at the beginning, little teaser there. I thought the show was very good. I watched the entire thing, even the 0 hour. I watched it from front to back, one sitting live. It was a good show. It was a solid show. There was some stuff that I wasn't big on. I was not big on the TBS title match. It was a little rough. There was the Jungle Boy match. I feel was a little disappointing because obviously they're building it up. They're going to keep it going, so that's nice. But I thought it All Out we were going to get, you know, the big altercation between the guys. But as an angle, that's pretty much what it was. It was fine. It was absolutely fine. That is basically all I'm going to say about All Out because nobody else is talking about it. If you probably don't care right now, if you're watching this, you just want to hear me talk about everything that happened in the Scrum, which is what everybody's talking about. So why even go on and talk about the show? That is what has happened here. That is what's happened. Bottom line. We didn't even talk about FTR on the show. Dax's daughter was on the show. Obviously, it was a weird, she was pinning Sanjay Dutt. It is what it is. But, you know, we didn't talk about any of that because nobody cares. But you get the idea. And I didn't play any of the clips from the Scrum because, you know, there's a bad reputation with some stuff getting, you know, copyrighted and, you know, scraped off the internet. So I didn't want to have any of that going on. I just want to talk about what happened and stuff and give my opinion, whether I thought it was good or bad and whatnot. But I want to know from you guys, do you guys think that this is real? Do you think it was a work? Do you think that they're just putting on a whole show? There's no real animosity. The Young Bucks aren't really at war with CM Punk. CM Punk doesn't hate Hangman Page or the EVPs. I want to know what you guys think. What do you think is real? What do you think is, you know, a work going on right now? What do you think is going on with AEW? Because, dear Lord, from a person that just is getting back into wrestling, because I was gone for a while, I was definitely out of wrestling, coming back in. It's definitely an exciting time as a hardcore fan, seeing all the drama, the news, everything. But AEW looks like they're an absolute mess right now. Now, sorry. So let me know down below what you think of that, and we'll talk about it. And if it is real, what are your thoughts on CM Punk? Do you side with CM Punk? Do you side with the Young Bucks? Because there's a plenty of people that are siding with CM Punk, and I think there are some valid points that he said in his, you know, kind of rant. He shouldn't have to be talking about all the stuff with Colt and all this kind of stuff. He shouldn't have to be bringing this crap up. This is that does have to be very annoying. I completely understand him being aggravated about that. As far as what Hangman said and everything, it didn't seem that bad, but maybe it just struck him in the wrong way. I don't know, because I went back and watched what everybody, you know, everybody linked it online, like, oh, this is the promo that made Punk go overboard. I mean, it didn't seem that bad, but I don't know. Maybe it just rubbed him way wronger than I could have imagined. But I will side with Punk as far as, dude, why are the journalists talking about this stuff still with the whole lawsuit and everything? He shouldn't have to deal with that crap. It's over and done with. It's over. It's got to be annoying. I completely understand him being ticked off by that and annoyed by that. So that part, I will 100% say, you know, Punk, I understand what you're saying here, how you're feeling, but no matter what, you didn't come off looking good. Not that he's ever going to watch this, obviously, but you know what I'm saying? He didn't come off looking good. So that is that, guys. Let me know down below what all you think about the situation. We're going to get some more of these little opinion pieces out and stuff like that. Obviously, you saw the rebranding on the site. Let's pop up the logo. Brand new logo right here. Obviously, you see some of the old stuff on this graphic. I haven't switched that stuff out yet. I'm going to get to that. Don't worry. But I wanted to get this video out and wanted to talk about this as soon as I could. So obviously, awesome new logo coming, new branding, wrestling meets ultra violence. Yes, there's going to be more CZW, more ultra violence topics on the channel, but I'm also still going to be doing opinion pieces like this where I'm talking about AEW, WWE, all that kind of stuff. But there's going to be a little more of an attitude coming to some of this stuff. But anyway, that's the new logo. That's the new branding. We got plenty more coming on the channel. So that is it. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Let me know down below, what are your thoughts on this whole CM Punk AEW Media Scrum situation? Or if you want to talk about the pay-per-view, you actually want to talk about the actual show, let's talk about it. I would love to, but nobody else does. So there you go. All right, that's it, guys. I'll see you on the next video.